thing. It's sunny today, so it's just destroying.
Yeah.
I need to have to get new curtains. Yeah, the sun has finally shown up in our little canyon and changing everything. Oh, it's a gorgeous day. Wow.
Yeah, I got some sunshine. Feels good.
Yeah, you can't see it in my picture. It's my background.
But, yeah, we are good to go, folks. And Terry, you look great. The phone is fine, and I actually think the phone actually gives a better picture than computers. So the aspect ratio is a little different, but it looks great. And folks, we are live here for the second leg of Quantum Leap. We're actually doing two guests in most episodes, and but we do start a fresh live feed. So we welcome our guest life coach and lady entrepreneur, the multi-talented Terri Wade, who's also a social media star here in the Bay Area and beyond. And we're going to ask her about some of her secrets to becoming a star on social media in a minute. But I did want to do a quick check-in with my co-host Corey Knott to just say hello. And we did a check-in earlier. We were still kind of regrouping about a business coach that we had. So Corey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you, David. And having a interesting week, kind of just working on mining our message is what we're working on this week. So getting that right. It's been thought-provoking.
Great. And I know both of you guys have been hugely instrumental to me in helping me grow my business. Really, Terri is an extraordinary, business and marketing person. She used to work at a center down there in San Francisco. I forget the exact name, but I'm going to let her go into her story. So I don't. I did want to just let folks know that she's, multi-talented. We're going to talk about some of the different areas of her work, but she's actually launching a new program, a 5-day self-mastery challenge. So let's get to Terri. And Terri, if you don't mind telling us your story and all the various things that you're working on right now.
Definitely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here on the Quantum Leap podcast. It's an honor. So my name is Terri Wade. I am the founder of the Lady Entrepreneur Society, and I am a business and spiritual life coach. And I help ladies connect to their soul purpose to show up confidently in the business of their dreams. So it's not just the business of your dreams, but the lifestyle. I'm really big on lifestyle because I was once really burnt out trying to, create all the things as a lady entrepreneur, a blog, a podcast, a website, a funnel, all of the things. And then I realized it's really about relationship building. And so you mentioned social media. So I did grow my social media to over 17,000 followers. A lot of it was just providing a lot of content, just posting 4 times a day, using all the right hashtags and engaging with, my ideal client. So that was one of the things I did. It's because I started off as a social media marketing consultant. So I wanted to make sure I had a big audience, knew how to grow an audience. I could teach my clients to do the same. And then I pivoted into now coaching other people how to start their own online business. Because when I was doing marketing consulting, a lot of what I did, you could hire a VA, you can hire an intern to do. So I really wanted to focus on the strategy. And a lot of the spiritual part that I do is connecting to your soul purpose, because I feel you can be led. You don't have to hustle and grind. I used to follow Gary Vee and Grant Cardone, wake up at 4 a.m., hustle. And that didn't resonate with me. So now I do it in a lot more flowy, aligned, allowing, receiving way, where I'm building relationships with ladies. And the next thing I'm doing is actually an abundance mastermind. It's this 6-month mastermind, which has just been the joy of my heart to do. It's so fulfilling and very impactful. Basically, we're working on our abundant mindset. And David, you and I met through a Thinking into Results program. So we know just how important mindset is and being the person that has a successful business. So that's a little bit about me as an introduction.
Yeah, and all of this, and you're just past 30, or I believe. So I feel like you really came at this a decade or more before a lot of folks. I'm just really looking forward to seeing where you go with this. And I've just been amazed at the success that you've had. And we do share the same business coach. And I think all this mindset stuff that and it's great to see you implementing this. And, you have a Tuesdays with Terri show, and for somebody at the age 30 or maybe a little bit beyond to be running their own mastermind and teaching other lady entrepreneurs how to succeed is just an extraordinary thing to watch. And I did want to just ask you to share some of your secrets to this accelerated success that you've had in both your personal and professional life.
Yeah, well, a lot of the success I've had is so it starts really with mindset and understanding who you are. So I really brought spirituality into my business this past year, because when so for me, I feel we are all a child of God, and God is abundant, powerful, a creator. So when you know that you are a child of God and you have that creative power within you, that you have that expansive, unlimited, anything's possible gifts that inside of you, then you look at things differently. You approach business differently. You approach life differently. Like I realized, there's no fear. So when you don't have any fear, you can show up confidently. You can show up knowing that you're supported and guided. And it's just a whole different way of looking at life. And I don't have to do what people want me to do. I don't have to do what the trends are. I can do what feels right for me, and it's enough. And I know it's enough. I know I'm enough, and I'm worthy and deserving of every desire that's placed on my heart, and my desires are given to me for a reason. So the first thing is really just having that connection with your true source. And I call it God, you call it divine love, or universal intelligence, like whatever the term is that feels true to you. But just that one source, that one creator that is in all of us, that's like the foundation of everything that I teach. And I know with Bob Proctor in our program, he says we're spiritual beings having this human experience. And I really believe that. So in this human experience, there's these universal laws that we can live by. And so I like to understand what they are. So there's law of attraction, and preceding that is the law of vibration. So really for me, it's getting into the vibrational state of being where you can act and attract in a certain way. So the people that I've surrounded myself with, that's why I'm so honored to be here with both of you and Corey today, is because I want to be around positive, powerful people, because then that elevates you. It elevates your standard. It elevates what you think is possible for yourself. So I think one of the biggest keys to my success is being around other powerful people, because then it just raises my vibration, raises what I think is possible. And then I act in a different way, because I realize, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. And yeah, it's not that far out and far-fetched. So yes, I think that's in kind of the keys to my success in getting where I am today.
Excellent. And I know Ivan Meisner, a mentor to Corey and I, calls that networking up. And I see that in you, and you're really something that I call a social media superstar. Last I checked, you had about 20,000 plus Instagram followers. If you don't mind, and just telling us about your following online and some of the things that you've done to get to the point where you're really a thought leader and a social media star. If folks are kind of just starting out, wondering how to build influence and start them online. But you also, I see that makes you very unique, is you have so much substance to you. You're not a Instagram model. You're actually a ladypreneur who brings just as much substance as kind of beauty and image as well too, that a lot of other folks are lacking out there on the online universe.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, David. So one of the things that I've done to really grow my social media was first understanding who my audience is. So I know that I'm targeting lady entrepreneurs between 25 and 45. They're spiritual, they like holistic health. So I'm very clear on who I'm targeting. So as I'm building the relationships, I use hashtags for myself and all my posts, and I look up hashtags, and other people are looking up hashtags, which is why it's so important for you to have hashtags on each of your posts. But I look at people based on the hashtag. So if it's a lady entrepreneur or a woman in business, like I'll look that up and I'll start engaging with those people that are like-minded and have the similar interests to me. And I'm not going to just like it, but I'm going to really thoughtfully, comment on their posts and start building that relationship with them. And so that's one of the ways that I've really built my audience, is just knowing like who. And at first when I did it, I wasn't 100% clear on who the audience was. And there's this lady, she's like Glam University, and she doesn't have the same audience as I do. At first I thought she did, so I was like, oh, we're like female entrepreneurs, but she's going down a whole different path. Her audience is totally different than mine. So it's really understanding like who your audience is, and then making sure you're engaging with that person. And so I always say like have like just a customer avatar, name her or him, and like what do they do, what do they like, what are their fears, what are their aspirations, what are their pains that they're having, and then really talking to that and speaking to that. And I know for me, like the results that I solve, and so I can clearly articulate what I do for people when I'm helping them with the Abundance Mastermind and with my one-on-one coaching. But yeah, so the use of hashtags, partnerships has been huge for me. So I have great mentors, Lisa Nichols, Bob Proctor, Mahima, and other people with bigger audiences. So I'll partner and collaborate. So we'll go live together. We'll share each other's content. So reposting content has been a big thing. So it's like, I'll repost your content, you repost mine, and they both have big audiences as well. So then we're just sharing each other's content, and just, like that was like a rising ship lifts all boats. And so it's like, we're all growing together. We're all, just helping each other out, because there's really no competition when you look at it, because everyone's so different and unique. We can all be, there can be a million business coaches, but I'm not going to relate to every business coach the same. And one of the prime examples is I had a lady who we had a discovery call, and it was so great. We're really vibing. But one of the things was like, she said that she had just gone to a business networking event like a week before, and the lady had pink hair and tattoos, and she cussed a lot, and I don't. And so she was like, I realized I need a business coach talking to you. But then she didn't hire me, which is totally fine, because there's a niche for, there's a person for everyone. And it's like, she resonated with the lady with pink hair, tattoos, that cussed like a sailor. And, like, that's perfect. If that's for her, like, and I don't feel like disappointed at all, because it's like, my people are going to be for me. So that's the whole thing where it's like, you have to realize there's no competition, and that like the right people are going to be attracted to you when you show up and you make the offer and you really show that you're truly engaging and you care about them. So it's knowing that there's no competition. So doing those partnerships and not worrying, and also giving a lot of value. People don't want to give value because then they think like, oh, then they're not going to want me, but you have to show what you know how to do. And a lot of things, like, people know what to do. Honestly, everything that like we all know is on Google probably, or on YouTube. So it's like, having the coach to hold you accountable, having the coach that knows you, that can relate to you, that can motivate you, that inspire and empower you, that's going to really be the difference there. So I hope that answers your question about like how to grow your audience, but also like posting relevant content, having a beautiful brand image that's consistent, that looks appealing to the eye, and really focusing on the other person. Everyone's in it, like the what's in it for me, like WFFM radio. So really focusing on what's in it for them, what can they gain, and then just making sure that you're making the offers and showing up as yourself, telling your story, being personable. So it's not just, like anyone can have a brand, but what differentiates you a lot of the time is you. So sharing a bit about yourself, being vulnerable, sharing the journey, all that.
Great, thanks for that. And I know Ivan Meisner says it's a lot less folks up at the top, so when you are a creator, there really is no competition, because you're creating, your ideal business, your ideal life, whereas most people are kind of stuck in the red zone, so to speak. It's a lot more crowded at the bottom where everybody's kind of competing. So I think, I like that analogy and that advice. And, also, I know David Logan and Tribal Leadership calls it that level 5, where you're actually creating, you've left that competitive space, and really it's about, my life is great. How do we create this great life for kind of everybody, and not, instead of just, having this limited pie to fight amongst one another. So I did want to turn it over to Corey for any comments on, Terri's success, or things that he sees in her, or to just.
Yeah, no, that's actually really helpful. I mean, Gail and I have been working, kind of launching our own community, and definitely a slightly different target market. An older audience, maybe in some ways the same, but we also have some specific professions that we target and ideas. And I love it. We have, Terri here, and then the last hour we had a coach whose market was completely different than either of us. right? People are just tired of their business, right? And want to re-engage, or might consider it if they got the right information. And so it's really interesting. And I love how Terri has grown this, and that's kind of what Gail and I have been looking to do. So I'm definitely taking notes here. So one of the things is, so one of the questions is so what is this 5-day self-mastery challenge that you offer?
Yeah, so the 5-day self-mastery challenge is actually a challenge that I launched. I just launched the first one about a week ago. It was like the first week of March. I launched it, and I'm going to be launching these every couple of weeks, but it's just kind of a lead in to get your audience engaged in who you are, what you do. And so this was basically leading up to the 6-month abundance mastermind. So that was kind of the live launch to promote that event. But basically, for the self-mastery for success, we went over 5 days, and every day was a different kind of topic all around self-mastery. So the first one is really understanding yourself and your mind. Second one was having a clear vision for your life. Then the third one was being able to tune in for guidance, and then raising your vibration for success. And so first of all, yeah, understanding self and mind is just who you are, what your truth is, like how powerful you are, knowing that you have nothing to fear, that you'll be guided. So having a clear life vision, it's so important for me and everyone, right? But to visualize what you want, because first you see it in your mind, and then you see it in reality. Just like wearing clothes for the day, like, what am I going to wear? Oh, I'm going to wear the gray sweater with the black pants. It's just like you see it and you put it on. And so it's like, that's with everything. And so having that clear life vision, then you have somewhere to go towards. It's not like, oh, I'm taking action, or I'm getting in my car driving. Like, where are you going? So you have to have a destination. So that's like so important. So that was day 2, is really figuring out where you want to go. And then also, like, I just believe once you can see it as done, and you just start, you're opening up your mind to different opportunities. Like when I first got my red Mini Cooper, I didn't think there was that many Mini Coopers, but now I just see Mini Coopers everywhere. Everyone all of a sudden got a Mini Cooper, but it's not that. It's just because that's where my focus is, and like where focus goes, energy flows. So yeah, having that clear life vision all of a sudden, because I believe nothing's created or destroyed. Everything's evenly present at all times. And so once you have that focus and you have that vision, that clear life path that you want, then it just becomes a matter of like seeing the opportunities. Before you didn't see it and they were always there, but now you know what you're looking for and it'll show itself to you. Or you create it, but having that clear life path, and then tuning in for guidance. So I use meditation just to get quiet and get clear. And I get so many answers. A lot of times I'll just get answers in the shower because I'm just not thinking about anything. Like whenever your mind's totally like off, and I'll think this brilliant idea come to you, or sitting in meditation, you get quiet and then you're like, oh, that's what I should do. Like just all these great ideas come to you. So meditation, but it doesn't have to be meditation if that's not like your jam. You can do gardening, like running, working out, but whatever you can quiet your mind, let yourself just kind of tune into who you truly are. You can ask for those answers and get guided. I believe asking you shall receive, asking is given. So yeah, that's tuning in for guidance. And then raising your vibration is really just doing the affirmations, having a mantra, having a supportive community around you that's really going to raise your vibration and let you act and attract in the way that your ideal self would want to.
Great, thanks. So what are your goals for 2021 and beyond?
Yeah, so I really want to impact 100,000 lives. And so I saw my dad this, and he's like, I think you already have. So like, maybe I need to up the goal. But just because of the ripple effect, right? So I know David has the ripple effect podcast, but really, like, I'd love to I had a podcast before with a friend, but now I want to start my own podcast, Tuesdays with Terri. So I have a YouTube and Facebook show, but I want to turn into a podcast. I'd love to write a book. So I'd love to enroll 100 people into my courses and programs. So yeah, right now I'm working on my mastermind launch for the next 6 months. We just last month finished the first 6 months I've ever done of a mastermind. So we'll do our next 6 months, and I want to launch these, at least twice a year, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and then create the courses and programs around abundance mindset, being happier, accelerating your business. Because I used to teach at Skyline College, a business class, and have my MBA. So I do know a lot about business models. And then I did a lot of social media marketing. So maybe creating like little mini courses or a business course, but definitely there's some kind of course in the pipeline for this year.
Awesome. I'm sure you'll do very well. Thank you.
Yeah, and I know from my own experience with Terry, just a few conversations with her can really turn a whole program or a whole business around based on her knowledge. And I really think she speaks to the younger generation too. Of, she's had clients who have modeled and, Target or for Target or for, major companies or, other. Could you just describe a few of the results that some of your clients have gotten? You've really worked with some people who become top-notch lady entrepreneurs by working with you and some of the knowledge you provide.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So, well, yeah, one of the lady you were talking about was Talisha. We went to high school together, and she's just been following me and then signed up for the mastermind. And she was really nervous to sign up at first because she was like, "Oh, I don't know. I've never really invested in myself like this." And then when she did, then like I think it was the next day, she got a really big check from JC Penney's, and she had done, she doesn't know exactly like how big their reach is going to get or when they're going to be, putting her like ads in newspapers and stuff. So then she ended up getting a really big check the next day. And so it's just a confirmation, like when you invest in yourself, the universe has your back, like you're supported and guided. And then she had one of her big goals was to get into Target, but her agency didn't work with Target. So she's like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but that's one of my goals. And so as she's keeping the vision, holding the vision, doing the affirmations, just, visualizing, yes, she's in Target. Then somebody found her, talked to her agent, and then she was like sent to everybody's like mailbox with a Target ad, her and her whole family, because they're all just gorgeous. And so I opened up my, just like some, I have a Target card. So I opened up my subscription and she's like the big like ad for, and I was like, oh my God, it's just so amazing. That was really beautiful. And then also one of the ladies, her goals was to get a raise and a promotion at her job. And she did. And then she realized, I'm actually not fulfilled in my job. I want to start a business. And so then, the next month we created an 8-week program for her, and she enrolled 3 people right away into a 3-week program. So then she made back the investment of the mastermind. Another lady, she was selling like cheaper one-on-one sessions, and people weren't getting as much. I mean, I think when people invest more, they pay more attention because they're like more invested. So she was just doing, just kind of one-on-one sessions. And then she thought, I want to create my own mastermind around diets and being sugar-free and having this holistic, healthy lifestyle. And then she created a mastermind, got 4 clients and $16,000 from doing that. Another lady, her dream was always to live in Brazil, or she lived in Brazil, but then she wanted to go back there. So she actually, she did most of the mastermind with us. And then she found like, I created enough money in her, she has a tantric lifestyle, relationships, growing business. So basically she got a couple, really high paying clients. And then she moved to Brazil for 3 months for the last part of our mastermind, because that was always a dream of hers. And then she saw her family again in a really long time, and then started, creating some programs out there, doing a lot of her course material work out there. So I just believe so much. So whatever you want is possible. Like you have to believe it, or else you're not even gonna like come up with that idea in the first place. But when you're around people that believe it and they believe in you and they've done it, then you're like, it's just a matter of time, before it happens for me. So.
Yeah, it's all music to my ears, and I love how you live these success principles that we've learned from Bob Proctor and others. And I did want to, just since we do have a couple minutes left, just ask you if somebody's stuck kind of right now in their job or with their business, if you have any kind of words of advice to kind of take those first steps about be it working with a business coach or what they should think. And I did want to add one quick anecdote that I think the studies show that there's actually not that much difference in us as kind of children of God, so to speak, but there's a big difference in how we think, and that's what can make all the difference in your life.
Yeah. So if they like don't, if you're feeling like really low, like I would just like analyze that feeling. Like I think you shouldn't push your feelings to the side. I know for a while I was like, oh, be positive. I want to create positive results. I want them to vibrate positively and have that. But sometimes you just need to like understand where you are and feel that feeling. And so I think if you're feeling that, like let yourself feel that, and then see what caused me to feel that. Understand what have you been thinking that's caused this. Maybe some past beliefs, past programs you were on from your teachers, from your parents. Like really dive into like why you're feeling the way you are and why you are the way you are, the way you act, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you're just doing life and what your beliefs are. I would just kind of dissect that a little bit. And then, because a lot of people, like even earlier, I was doing interviews for the abundance program, and one of the ladies says she really has a feeling that she's not worthy. Like every time she wants to put herself out there, she just feels like, who am I to do this? And she had some trauma in her past she hasn't really healed. And so from that, you know, it's like forgive yourself, forgive the other person. So it's kind of like digging into what's kind of stopping you and realizing, like telling a new story around it, where it's like, you know, at the time I was young, I didn't know better, or those people were doing the best they could with what they have. And in truth, you know, I am abundant, I am worthy, I am a child of God. I can do anything I put my mind to. It's possible for anyone, it's possible for me. And not only that, but I can create like miraculous things, like an airplane, like airplanes fly. Like that was such a crazy concept back then. So it's like you can even create what's possible. But I would just, like just do like a thought checker and what you think's possible, and then change that. Because once you start believing more, then you're opening yourself up for more possibilities. Like open yourself to receiving the abundance, open yourself up to receiving the guidance. So I would just, just really like heal your past, like, you know, feel what you're feeling now and know it's okay. And then go back and, you know, just kind of like tell a new story around anything negative that was happening to you that makes you feel now that you're not worth whatever you want, or not worthy of being seen, not worthy of, you know, having people invest in you or their self really, but through your programs. So that was kind of like the start, I would say. And then just talk to a business coach. Most people do complimentary discovery sessions. So you can just see, is this a fit for me? What can you help me with? And then, just go from there.
Sounds good. Thanks. I love how you were talking about raising your vibration. And, you know, I just think you're a sterling example of when you do this work and this journey of self-discovery, you know, the light that you can bring to the world, which you really do through all that you do and the platforms that you communicate on. So thanks for being such a great example out there. And we will put the links to how to get in touch with you and your 5-day self-mastery challenge and mastermind. And do follow her on social media, Instagram, Facebook. Check out her website. You'll really see her, all that she does with these great thoughts and ideas. And thanks so much, Terri, for joining us today.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Corey, for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week for Quantum Leap.
Bye.